We're back in New Jersey, and honestly, cars get super disrupted here because it's just so technical. This guardrail, it's called a cheese grater. It's got some sharp edges. I mean, this is not a friendly guardrail.
I was completely blinded by smoke. He was right there.
Oh, and Field goes into the side of Forest Wang.
It's just a gnarly track.
Last year, I won on this track, rolling into practice from the very first lap. I had a few bumps along the way. You gotta get shooken up a little bit. Well, that was a bust. It doesn't look as bad as it felt. So we're gonna replace one of the arms that bent. We'll get it back together and try that again before qualifying. All part of the game. Zip tie is a pretty big necessity in the world of drifting. It really helps out when we need to secure things together, lace it together like shoelaces, and it's just as strong. So ready to smack that thing on?
Ooh, she sounds good! Going into qualifying, right away the first run, started out really good. I definitely had a bobble, but I was kind of more taking it easy, and that's what caused a little bit of a setback there. Still a good score, 89. We're on the right track. Engine wasn't quite perfect, but honestly it was a good run. 89, we're obviously in. Just gotta lay down a second run. Going into the second lap, I made those adjustments, I made the corrections. Take the 92, sit in fifth, we're ready for tomorrow.
When it's time to qualify, you put on your helmet, you hook up everything in your car, and all of that has to go away completely. You have to be focused. We're sitting with a pretty decent score. Qualifying high is super important at every single round. Not having to compete against anyone in top 32, but that's what you get for qualifying really well.
It's cool seeing the vent in person after all the instrument.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at. Hey, how come your bumper doesn't look like that anymore?
Well, this is how it looks at the beginning of the rounds. Sometimes you end up busting it up.
It's pretty hurt.
Where's the lip of your bumper?
Let's just not talk about the lip. Top 32, we're going against Jeff Jones. This sport is definitely budget oriented. Jeff is just lacking a little bit of budget because his driving is not the issue. This is our third time going against Jeff Jones. When they announced who we were going to be battling, Jeff says, "Man, I gotta beat you sometime."
In FD, anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
This battle was definitely one of his best battles that him and I had together.
Fellas, Field and Jones. Field tapping Jeff Jones right out of the gate. Good initiation there from Matt Field. Massive angle. This battle. Jones initiates. Jeff Jones almost overcooks it. Now massages it into the fold, into the crease. And Matt Field gets the win.
Woo! We won again. I was able to apply pressure exactly how I wanted to. The car is driving amazing. Sitting in line, getting ready for top 16. Going against that guy right there, Mr. Ryan Turek.
Someone that we keep an eye on during practice because sometimes he just really has amazing runs.
We're either 1-1 or 1-0 or 2-1. I can't remember.
I think Matt's going to have to concentrate on just a killer lead run.
I'm ready to do this.
Matt Field getting personal with the wall.
Here's the second run.
Woo, Matt Field sticks it to the door of Ryan Turk. And Field one clip away. Woo! These two gladiators right now throwing down Ryan.
So we made it through to the grade 8. We beat Ryan Turek. We're going.
I have a battle with Matt Van Kirk. He's a rookie driver, but man, he was actually looking really solid at this round. So I knew I was going to have to put in some effort on this one. When we lined up, it was my turn to lead because I qualified higher, so I got to set the pace.
Nice job by Odie. Really high, but there's Van Kirk.
When you're running with someone that's kind of a less seasoned driver, you know that you're going to have to lay it all out on your lead run, but you're going to have to play it a little bit safe when you're chasing them because there's a slight chance that his line isn't going to be perfect.
Oh, buddy, Van Kirk going off course.
And if I'm right on his door and that happens, I could throw my whole run away.
Odie applaud the composure.
I chased him with a safe proximity. I didn't throw it all on the table. Finished off solid without making any mistakes. and I got the win. I'm glad to get that one out of the way. Moving on, top 8. Bumper is a tragedy at this round. It got hurt to the point where it was interfering with my steering angle, and I told the guys, just rip that thing off. It was getting on my nerves. I'm over that bumper. Time for a new one. My advice to Matt going against Forrest is just keep it together, keep it clean.
Another one of those guys that we've gone against before, but it's a new year, it's a new car, it's a new me, it's a new him. The first run, I was leading. Hit all the boxes, hit all my marks, but Forrest was there, absolutely.
Forrest Wang lunges forward.
As soon as I initiated, I was right there on the bank, and I was feeling good. Transitioning off the bank, I was completely blinded by smoke, and as soon as I popped through the smoke, he was right there. I locked up all 4 front brakes, rear brakes on the handbrake, and ended up hitting him.
Oh, and Field goes into the side of Forrest Wang.
Fortunately for us, the judges don't have that as a slowdown zone and saw him drop momentum. I don't think he was doing anything intentional, but we were just that close and pushing that hard that there was contact.
Matt Field gets the win.
That is an area where you're not supposed to slow down.
It actually ripped the tie rod out of the rack. I called the boys, told them to get the welder ready. If we got a welder in, we will. Set off the brakes. I'm not heavy enough, big boy. Very fortunately for us, the threads in the rack weren't damaged. Where's that water coming from? Oh, it's from the cool box. A little bent tie rod, that's not gonna phase us.
I didn't do that. I kept watching the replay, I was like looking, I'm like, okay, I did slow a little, but it wasn't like I parked it.
If I would have been able to see, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Snow cloud.
Oh, right in my face, couldn't see.
Good, that'll kill it.
Thank you, dude. The tie rod actually ripped out of the rack, but it didn't seem like it damaged the rack. Thank God for GM parts, they're strong. New tie rod, new front, good to go.
I made it in top 8. That means I got to battle my Falcon Tire teammate, Dai Yoshihara. He's been doing this longer than I have. I know I got a tough battle coming up ahead.
Whoa, Dai lunges forward, Odibashi's.
And lay down a solid lead run. Dai did okay following me, so I have to lay down a really good follow run.
It's kind of a ping pong match there, back and forth. It's definitely going to come down to the second half of this battle. Oh boy, Dai Yoshihara right there, but look at Odibashi. Solid chase run there.
He goes through the infield and actually pours on a lot of angle and starts spinning.
Transition into that touch and go, and Daijiro rotates.
And I end up smashing into him. But honestly, I don't even have a front bumper at this point anymore, so.
Make some noise for Dai Yoshihara, and Odibashi's your victor.
But it was his fault for spinning. He lost that battle. I'm stoked to be moving on.
Sorry, man. Sorry for the...
It's okay. It's okay. I'll take that and guarantee the win. That's good. Thank you, Dai. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Top 4 it happens for us, but not as often as we'd like. So it's definitely a humbling feeling to be here right now. Hopefully make it a full podium of steel and blue. So that'd be super cool. First time ever.
Going into the Final 4 battle with Justin Pollock, I knew that we had more car than him. But he also has an insane lead run, which is why he was #1 qualifier this weekend.
All aboard the Falcon train, Justin Pollock.
What I found with Justin is he's always as good as the guy he's driving with. If he's driving against a rookie or somebody who's making a lot of mistakes, you see Justin make a lot of mistakes. But when he's driving with somebody who throws down, he throws down. I'm in a Corvette, Justin's in a Mustang. We're both teal and blue. We're both on Falcon tires. We're in the Final 4, and the level of driving is just insane.
Both these guys have it. Out to that touch and go. Goes Field. Almost identical. Make some noise. Ryan says one more time. Andy says Justin Pollock. And Brian says one more time. And look at that, Matt Field getting close proximity to JTP, gets right there in that crease. Oh, wow. Really coming unsprung there. Solid job from these two. Ryan says, Matt Field. Andy says, Brian says, Matt Field gets the win.
After the runs with Justin, I was just like, holy, that was crazy.
I made it into top 4. Things are going exactly to plan. I've battled James before. Man, I've lost him both of those times, but I think I've got him figured out. So I'm really excited going to top 4, and I'm not going to leave anything on that table. Lining up, I get to lead. I qualified higher. That alone sets me up to feel confident. I get to set the pace.
The spatial awareness is unreal. Woo-wee.
I end up reducing angle, going across the finish line. And I have no clue why. Just saw so much smoke, I seriously thought we're already through the finish line. So I start unwinding the car, and it was just an honest mistake. Now, when I go line up to follow James Deane, I know I have to just be on his door and not give him any space whatsoever.
Second half of this battle, who's going to the final? Just an unreal job from both these guys. Round of applause.
Right after the run, I'm just patiently waiting. It's complete silence. James is right next to me, and then we look up at the Jumbotron. So one more time for one judge, another, and the third. But coming off that run, as soon as I shut down, the car felt a little weird. I went ahead and called a 5-minute, basically a timeout. We came back to the pits, inspected the car, and sure enough, there was something off with the back of the car.
Like a fighter pilot ready to go to war. Make some noise for him. Hard-working team out there.
As we take off though, I shift first, second, and then I cannot get into third gear. There's like just a grind going to the third.
Reflection! Woo! Cody Bakshis almost gets into the back.
And that's where I knew my run was over. I managed to get in third gear, but as soon as I did that, he was already a car length ahead of me, and I was basically playing catch up. I was driving so hard trying to catch up with him. I burned through my tires. The car actually got pretty loose towards the very end of the run. Before the judges even told us who's the winner, I already was pointing at James, congratulating him, because I just knew it. That was it for me because of me misshifting, and it's a bummer. It's a good try, man. So frustrating. It sucks losing, especially when you know exactly why you lost and that it could have been totally avoided.
It's okay. We fourth, qualified second.
I know, but I could have beat him.
Now you have to wait until next time.
Yeah.
We're in the finals and we're going against James Deane. Came off a championship his last year, first year back in Formula Drift, wins the championship. In this sport, at this level, one little check off the throttle or overspin of the tires, that can be it. Going into the first run, I was following, and honestly, here's where I did leave a little bit on the table.
Big angle from Deane, Matt Field mimicking it, could be a little closer.
I didn't position myself exactly where I wanted to be on initiation, so immediately there was like a one-car gap.
Amazing transition there from Field and Deane.
When you're going against somebody like James, you just have to know that you have to drive on point. No mistakes.
James Deane, a solid lead run.
Because when we switched positions on my lead run, as soon as I initiated, high on the bank, he was right there.
And James the Machine Deane is right there on the door of him.
And although I don't really feel like I made any mistakes per se, I just didn't do everything I wanted to do. And you have to be perfect.
Keep it at 100, and that's what both these guys are doing.
I think that the judges were putting a lot of emphasis on the bank, and just that little bit, that half car, that was probably it. That little bit would prove to be kind of the end. We got second. There's nothing to be upset about.
Matt, the Beast from the Bay,
The team did amazing. The car was consistent lap after lap. I think the car's got even more potential. I just got to figure myself out. Now I think this is 2 second places, so.
There you go. Those are your podium finishers. James Deane, Matt Field, and Justin Paul.
Thank you, Eddie!
Good job, dude.
Thank you. You drove awesome.
I qualified second. I finished fourth. I'm on fire going into Seattle.